Shall we play a game?
Oh, I think we're live. Are we live? We're live. Hello, I will eat you, Vin, Dave, Randall. I am well, thank you, and the others who are lurking. Welcome along. We're going to do something just a little bit different today. We're going to deliver a 158. Now, I have to say, we're going to be stretching the friendship just a little bit, because these routes don't actually join up. They might in reality, in some places, but they don't in the game. So we're going to start, I've lost my notes now. We're starting at Derby, but not in that. That's just there. And that's exceptionally loud for me. It's good enough for you. So the 158s were made in Derby, so we're going to take one to Haymarket. Kinda. So, how soon until you go? Well, you get out of here pretty soon, because that's the direction I actually want to go. But I can probably put one over here, I guess. Yeah, nothing in here. So let's spawn a 158 over here. Now the question is, which way is the right way? We want to go... Well, I dare say we want to go the same way that one's going, don't we? I would think. Alright, we'll do that. I would think that makes sense. I think. Yes. I want to go up the other end of the platform, though, because this is the wrong end of the platform. Alright, let's head up here. G'day, mate. How you doing? Morning, morning, morning. Anybody want to come to Scotland? We're going to Scotland. At least I hope we are. If I'm at the right end, we'll be going the right way. So I've come running up the platform just to see if we're at the right end, because, you know, you're just doing a bit of a budgie there, mate. You're just kind of watching yourself in the glass. Hi. Yeah, I'm confusing, aren't I? Terrible. Anyway, if we're at the right end now, yes we are, we can spawn a 158. And it might as well be... Well, let's make it a 4-car, and it can be loaded with press people and influencers. There we go. There's our 158. Now, I've got no idea whether this will even work. So, you know, we're a bit living on the edge here. I better come back to YouTube and see what you're doing. So the grand plan is... Hang on, let me get this thing set up. And then we can talk about it. Because is that HST pissing off? It is. Alright, so we'll be following him with yellows. Good-o. That's fine. Let's get ready and get moving. Because, you know, if we don't... no, I don't want to do the reverser. I'm doing a master key. Then I want to do the reverser. Forwards. And then I want some AWS. I'm not going to turn on DSD or Vigilance. Vigilance is up here, by the way, someone told me. I couldn't find it in my training tutorial, so I didn't put it on. There it is. Vigilance. Look at that. And that's why I probably ignored it, because it's got a bar through it, which would suggest to me you can't change it. Alright, let's stick a path on this thing. So we want to go down to the station that's just down here, whatever it is. And we're going to want to be wrong rail. So he's hoping it can actually do this, because I'm going to want to go the other way. So let's try and put it down here. Can't. How about there? Can't. There. Yes. Okay, we can put it there. That's fine. Stop at location, Red Hill Tunnel up fast. No, I don't think that's right. That's not right. That's not what I want to do at all. Move path. Set path. I want to go to the station, not the tunnel. This is going so well already. Right, so we'll use the blue thing. So I reckon we'll put it in here if it'll let me. Will it let me? Yes! Okay, good. Alright, we're all good to go as soon as we get a signal, which we have just got. Excellent. Okay, let's get some headlights going and I will explain how we're going to do this. And instrument lights are already on. We should be pretty much good to go. We can turn on the GSMR so the signal can talk to us. Oh wait, it doesn't do anything. Ooh, it beeped. Doesn't do anything else though. Alright, so we can take our brand new 158 using roof cam off on its delivery run. Brand new. It's never been anywhere. And it's not going anywhere right now. You know why? Because its driver, you know, so new, forgot the DRA. Oh, back on roof cam. Train Sim World Roof and Tree Cam. Trademark registered. Okay, off we go again. Here we go with our load of nothing. Oh no, there's a couple. So there's our influencers, all of our UK rail influencers, people like G and Jeff and Jen and all those people will be joining us on this journey. If you turn the brightness up on GSMR, it works. Really? Really? Oh, bugger me. Oh, I'll have to point that out to Adam. He was so sad that it didn't work. 10 mile an hour? Yeah, what now? That's alright, this is a delivery run. We speed on delivery runs. They have to be quick. Hello, Chase Fox. I will eat you said. Some user said that a Spanish DTG ambassador compared to some Spanish ambassadors hates Rivet and Luzerne and Cersei. If you have examples of an ambassador, an actual ambassador who is saying bad things, send me a link in the Discord, please. That's not cool. It's perfectly okay to have an opinion, but if they're actually saying bad things, it's like you don't have to say you like someone, but you know, shouldn't rubbish the people who feed you either. All right, let's fang. Now, what we're actually going to do today, let me find. This is the grand idea. Now, I know some of these lines don't connect together, so please don't hate on me. And I'll put them all in the chat. Will it let me put them all in the chat? No. No, it worked. Okay. Well, we're doing the first leg. And on the first leg, we're doing this. So I'll put each leg in as we do it. This is the one we're doing now. Oops. Control V, not Shift V. What's happening? Oh, I see what's happening. My headphone cable's getting under the control key. Excellent. You'd never expect that, would you? Because what I thought about was I could run a 158 up and down on Fife Circle or Glasgow Edinburgh or something like that all day, and I thought, well, that's just a bit boring. Gratuitous bridge shot. Got it. Is that a little loud? I think it might be a little loud. Let me just crank that down so it's not peaking anymore. There we go. So once we get to East Midlands Parkway, we will be changing ends, because at the moment we're heading in exactly the wrong direction to make our delivery run. But I thought since they're made in Derby, we had to use the route with Derby on it, and there's only one, and that's the Midlands Parkway. Now, the way I figured out where we're going, I used this really cool mind maps that someone's put together. I don't know who owns this thing, but it's kind of handy. I Will Eat You says, I wish you could layer on steam engine smoke box door in livery design and give it a face. I reckon you need more than the ability to give it a face, because I reckon you need to be able to write on them, because a huge part of history at least in England and Australia, I don't know about whether the US did it. I've never seen it on a German train. I've never seen it on anything in the EU, but that doesn't mean they don't do it. It just means I haven't seen it. Hello, Mark B. When there's something important going on, you write on the smoke box door. So it might be a veil to someone who's perhaps passed. It might be something special, like a commemorative day. Could have gone via the Kent Triangle to Nottingham. Ooh. You know, there's plenty of stuff coming up, Dave. Don't worry about that. There's a lot of stuff coming up. Is Nottingham in my list? Let me have a look. I don't remember. Let me have a look. In fact, we're going to. But I wanted to change ends. That's why we're going to East Midlands Parkway first, and then we'll go to Nottingham. Because this is just fun. And we'll get to see a whole lot of routes that we hardly ever see. I see the GSMR's gone to sleep again. Do I have to increase its brightness again? So it does actually work, but it keeps turning its own brightness down. That's interesting. I Will Eat You says you can add faces to trains in Livery Designer, which is fun. Well, yes, you can. Should we, I've got a yellow coming. We are following an HST, though. It's pretty unlikely we're going to catch up with an HST, just saying. But it looks like we actually might be. So I'll stay in the cab. I was going to go and talk to our influencer passengers and figure out which one was which, but I think I'll stay in the cab. Just for the moment. Scotrail! I had grand plans for doing part of this tour on the Xbox and jumping from the PC to the Xbox. And then I looked through the routes I have on the Xbox and went, yeah, nah. I've only got one of them. Looks like we are fast approaching East Midlands Parkway, so at some point soon we will have to slow down. Under the giant footbridge. I've just newly loaded all these routes. I am in the build that you guys live in, so if it's a bit jerky, it'll be because it's compiling stuff. Apart from its usual a bit jerky, which is just a game. I remember this fence. See, I saw this patchwork grey fence, and I thought, that's just an asset that's not there. But no, it really is like that. least I didn't log it as a bug and ridicule myself. This is okay. Behind the yellow line, people. Oh, most of them are. The big yellow line, anyway. Work our way into East Midlands Parkway. Bet the HSC stops at Long Eaton. That is certainly possible. And yes, we could have turned left here, but I just wanted to change ends because, you know, it's more fun this way. And it might not work. See? That's what makes it fun. Besides, we have to give people a chance to get cancer at the giant chemical plant. Because, you know, what's a day without a bit of cancer? Oh, look, 5G antennas. Better put on our tinfoil hats. We have a red light coming up. Hope we don't get stuck waiting. We may do, because I want to do something silly, which is change lines. Does he dare do a gratuitous bridge shot on the way to a red signal? Of course he does. Oh, it's just changed anyway. We've got our line change. Very good. It's a bit misty in the tunnel today. So how are people today? I had a track patrol adventure yesterday on Nothing Billy. I haven't run a track patrol for a very long time. And this afternoon I'll be back on the railway. I'm heading there straight after this stream. Not wearing this jumper though, because, you know, that would get you funny looks on a real railway, turning up in a simulator jumper. And I'm firing the NGG16 Garrett. Well, actually, I say firing loosely because I have a mechanical stoker today named Nick. I forgot this was 15. You'd think I'd know because, you know, track monitor and all. But that's okay. Now, interestingly, this still puts me on the wrong platform. So I'll have to change lines again. But that's okay. It's all good. We cruise our way in. We'll give our press people and influencers a chance to go to the toilet while we change ends. Because, you know, the toilet in the train doesn't work. Thanks, Matt. One day we'll get working toilets. One day. You mark my words, a third party will do it. I think I even know which one will probably do it. I won't say, but one of them has a really good sense of humour. So I reckon it'll happen. Alright, we have arrived. Stop here. And let's get our train ready to go the other way. Want tail lights. Want this to go into off. And we turn off this beastie. And we get something else I need to do, I don't think. And shut that. And we won't walk through. Go on the outside. Actually, no, we should do. We should open our doors. Hi there. Morning. Hi. Yeah, fellas. How you doing? Yeah, what now? I painted a bench? That's a collectible? How about that? Morning. How you doing? Hey, you want to come to Scotland? No? Okay. What about you? Do you want to come to Scotland? You? No? You? No? No one wants to come to Scotland. Scotland must suck. Ooh. Headphone dude. Cool. Alright, let's go to Scotland. It's going the other way now. And I don't actually know if this will work if you open it from one panel and close it from another one. Apparently it does. That's a good thing. Alright. Successfully avoided the influencers, because, you know, there's nothing better. Let's get you set up. Master key. Get you into forwards. Get the AWS turned on. Get some headlights. And let's set ourselves a little path. Now this is the bit that I don't know if it'll work. And if I have to abandon, I will. And we'll just come back in free roam on the other platform and set a path this way. Because we need to go up to the end of the line up here. In fact, we might as well take it all the way into the yard. If it'll let us go up here, we may as well. Because, you know, that's the way we would be going, is heading out towards that signal. Let me come back here a bit so we don't run out of the playable area. Well, apparently we're allowed to. Good stuff. We do seem... Is that a yellow or red? What do you reckon? I reckon that's a red. Let's go a bit closer to it and see. But I reckon it's a red. Something coming, isn't there? Oh, it's another HST. That tells me it's definitely a red. Oh, yes. Because the other one changed and it went to the bottom of the thing. Let's just crawl up here. And wait for our signal. And hope this works. Let's put the fan on. Something else I didn't have in my tutorial because I couldn't find the switch. The switch is in fact on top of it. Better turn on our GSMR too while we wait so we can talk to the signalman. Alrighty, it's catching up with the chat. I Will Eat You says I made a London Underground D78 for the low class 484 because the class 484 was rebuilt from D78. Fair enough. Do you think Rivet Games should make a district line London Underground route? I'd be a little bit surprised if there was another underground route. While we wait for our signal. Why are we waiting? And are we really waiting? See, I don't think that signal's even there. Look at that. See, there's no signal on my path. So I don't think that signal's even there. Well, we'll know in a moment. Let's, just in case, save. And let's go. We'll be brave. Why aren't we powering? Because I haven't taken the brakes off. I was looking at my rail driver lever, which was in release, but the train wasn't. Okay, here we go. Past the signal that we hope's not there. Dave said I had people on my Twitch stream chatting on Thursday. Really surprised but fun. Good. And we survived. So the signal's not really there. They don't expect you to go this direction. That's probably something that should get fixed because it clearly is there. But we have a path, so it's all good. I'll just throttle off because, you know, 15 mile an hour and all that. So now we're doing East Midlands Parkway to Nottingham. Well, to the yard beyond Nottingham, in fact. So just do this little cruise. Past the cooling towers of death. I'm surprised it's put it over here, actually, and didn't bring us over onto this track. It's an interesting choice. Well, that's okay. You know. The dispatcher is what it is. Let's roll. Let's get some full spankage happening. Because, you know, it doesn't have a lot of spankage, this thing. If it was in a movie about spankage, it would be done with one finger. Not that anybody does movies about spankage or anything, I don't know what you're talking about. We are running wrong rail today. I Will Eat You says, I have a question about how come in training centre we can sit on the benches and other routes we can't. You can on some of them. Fife Circle has a couple of benches. Edinburgh Glasgow has a couple of benches. I love how the rust patterns are identical in all of these. There certainly are routes with benches that you can sit on. I wasn't expecting to come over here. I really wasn't. Because you know, Mr. Dispatcher, you could have just taken us on the other track. Really, you could have. But that's okay. Are we catching up with HST, or is that on the other track? I think it's on the other track waiting for us. It is on the other track waiting for us. Ha! We held up at HST. Excellent. Makes me kind of happy, to be honest with you. Have fun, Fanger. Whoop, well, we've got a red signal coming up too. Better get on the brakes and hope we stop in time. We're going to. It'll be perfectly okay. All good. Now, just a note to games developers. This is where a driver would stop approaching a red. Not up there. Back here. Unless it's a very short signal block and they know that. So if they're in the inner city, they might crawl right up to the red. But out in Whoop Whoop, no, they don't. They sit a ways back. What are we waiting for, though? We have got a red. There must be a train coming somewhere. Maybe we can delete it. There's a yellow up there. Where is said train? So there's nothing in front of us. It must be something coming in from that portal. Which we couldn't be waiting for that, surely. We could be waiting for that, I suppose. It depends how long the reservation blocks are on this. If the reservation blocks are massive, we could be waiting for that one. So let's see when it crosses into this block and disappears out the portal. We'll see if ours goes green. Meanwhile, we'll just sit here. Actually, there could be something coming in. I bet that's what we're waiting for. That will probably turn left and go up there. And it will either be crossing our path or going onto the same track we're on. And it will have the path. So we'll just sit here and wait for it. Like good little kitties. We'll know soon. If it turns left, we'll know. Hello, Anarchist Angel. How are you? We are doing a 158 delivery run from Derby to Haymarket. And we're using some flights of imagination to connect some routes together. We're currently on East Midlands. This is all free roam, of course, so strange things will happen. One of those strange things is happening right now, because we're waiting for this. This. I can't zoom in anymore and be more dramatic. This. We should be able to see it coming by now. Let's have a look. It's getting foggy. Of course it is. Here it comes. Oh, you know, that's something I didn't think of to do. We should have hooked it up to these. That would have been funny. Fair enough. It won't be long before we get to go. Now, are we sharing a path with him, in which case we'll be on the yellows all the way, and that'll be fun? Or is he just crossing our path? I think we're sharing a path with him, so we're going to be on the yellows all the way. That'd be cool. That'd be good fun for driving that. So when are we going to get a block? He's in that one. It's got a signal up there, so we should get a yellow pretty soon. And we should be okay. He's on our path now. Yep, so probably in about 10 seconds or so when he gets on that block, we should get a signal. There it goes. You love it when a plan comes together and I can explain what's going on. Because sometimes it's not explainable. I Will Eat You says I would like to jump in TSW4 one day. Well, you know, if you'd kept an eye on my channel, I gave away a TSW4 key yesterday. So if you'd been the first to comment on that post, you would have got one. I'm sad to say it's actually the last one I've got. I've got a bunch more DLC to give away. No point powering up too hard. Well, that's gone yellow, so we can keep going. Not that we'd be able to see that yet. At says, I've already said this, but I said TSW4 free roam, you can spawn a single class 166 car in first Great Western livery and uses the TSW 2020 HUD. You can use the 2020 HUD anyway. You can change back to the other HUD if you want to. You don't have to use this one. We cruise along in our little Scotrail 158 being delivered to Haymarket. Just to explain why there's a Scotrail 158 on East Midlands Mainline. Because we can. Other one's picking up a bit of speed now, so we can as well. We've got the double yellow now. And it's gone green. He's really fanging it. Anarchist Angel says, lovely, I like the fog and I'm alright. Last time I think I mentioned one of the upcoming train driver exams. I think you did, yes. How did you go? Hopefully well. Oh, if I haven't shown this before, I'm not sure if I have or not, I don't remember. This is from British Ace, the Brighton and Hove assorted bus liveries. That's while we were wandering around Brighton, he went, oi, let's go this way. And he dragged me down some streets until we found the bus shop. And then he went in there and the very earnest British young man had words with a very earnest British young girl and procured a cup, which I thought was very nice. We're back on the yellows. Is that a double yellow and then a red? Should be a single yellow then a red, surely. But we'll go on track monitor just in case. Dropped enough speed that I can slam the brakes on if this really is red. And it is. It really is red. That should have been a single yellow, surely. Or is it red? Or is it yellow? That's yellow. Where's the track monitor showing as red? Maybe it is red. It must be red. There's a train in front of us. Stop! It's going to be all good. It's going to be millimetres to spare. Perhaps meters. Perhaps I was being overly dramatic. Midland needs to work on their colours a bit, I think. Because, you know, that looks yellow to me. It doesn't look red. But anyway, that's okay. I Will Eat You says, I hate r/train sim world sometimes. Well, you know, that's Reddit. Reddit's basically full of very interesting individuals. However, that particular Reddit is moderated by Golden Ticket, who is actually quite an excellent individual. So, he does his best to keep on top of the strange creatures that inhabit Reddit. Hey, that's interesting. The little bug isn't happening today. Often that one goes red, the left-hand headlight, as though it's a tail light. I can see that train is departing in the distance, I think. Or is it just sitting there? Let's go look. Whee! He's on his way out now. See ya, East Midlands. Cruising out of Attenborough. David Attenborough. There'll be an old bloke, face down, with a camera, filming a lizard. Here we have the special East Midlands lizard in its natural habitat. Every now and again, it will leap out and consume a human. Everybody will wonder where the human went. But we know, don't we? We know the lizard got it. Can we have a signal, please? Soon. How long's the walk? Oh, it's a whopper. Oh, hang on, he's been through a signal, so we should actually have a green. Well, not a green, but a yellow. We do have a yellow. Okay. Let us depart. There's an interesting question, actually. Would a driver who's not in a platform put on the DRA at that point? And I don't know the answer to that question. Perhaps someone from Britain could help. A good knowledge to have. I Will Eat You says, when I meant jump in, I meant jumping up and down mechanic in TSW4. I already have TSW4. Okay. Anna Castangel, you passed with 97.4%. That is brilliant. Well done. Very well done. I'm very happy for you. I oddly actually have a trainee fireman out with me today, which is weird to me. I don't know what's weirder, that someone who's only been passed as long as I have is taking trainees, or that this guy is actually from my class and has not passed yet. He's been doing more important things like university, apparently. I say, bah, forget about your life. You never use your degree anyway. Do the steam trains. It's more satisfying. Brad MacArthur says, hey, laddie. You're in Scotland, I see. Nice summer's day. Yes, indeed. Very, very Scottish sort of day. It is indeed. Hello, Daniel Robert Jowett. How are you? There's a red signal up there somewhere in the fog. Hiding. Like a zombie. Ready to jump out and kill you when you least expect it. It'll whack you with the spad bat. We may have to skip some of the routes on this delivery run if it's going to take this long, because it's almost been an hour and we haven't got off East Midlands Mainline yet. Do you all know the trick with this machine, by the way? If you want to go stop in brake step 1, you go into 2 and then 1. Oops, we've gone yellow. I Will Eat You wants to know the difference between a West Somerset Railway Class 47 NTP Class 47, apart from the paint job and nose. Probably the paint job and nose. I Will Eat You says, good thing Golden Ticket is not anti-DTG. No, he's not anti-DTG. He's very ambivalent, I think you'll find. He's one of the moderators. It's a nice bloke too, if you ever talk to him. Hello, Red Arrow, how are you? Brad says I would have blown straight through that red. It looked yellow to me as well. Yeah, I think it's a bit sad, really. I will, what's this one? This one's a Skyhook one, isn't it? That got their attention. Since we've got 2 yellows, we can probably pick up a little bit of speed. Anarchist Angel says, at the Midlands Class 158 left to patrol the rest of the territory, its related species of the Scotrail variety dares to intrude further on the look for leftovers of diesel fuel. I should have done that in a really crappy David Attenborough voice, but I didn't realise where you were going until I was halfway through, and it's a bit late by then. But that's okay. Well done. Ooh, a mythical green. We'll get lulled into a false sense of security now. We've only got 3.2 miles till we hit the end of this route anyway, and then we will be switching over. We'll be taking an imaginary leap. This one's not terribly imaginary, actually, because these routes are connected in real life, not in the game. We'll head over to East Coast Mainline, where we're going to run from Grandam to Doncaster. It's not the right places to start and finish, but that's okay. In reality, it would go all the way to Edinburgh on the East Coast Mainline, but it doesn't do that in the game. And that's okay. Hello, Gabs Photography, how are you? I hope you are well. Hope everybody's well, actually. We cruise along in our Scotrail 158 on its delivery run to Haymarket. It's very important I finish on time today because I am rostered on the railway. In fact, let me just check what my starting time actually is. That would be important, wouldn't it? That would be a good thing to know. About to get a yellow coming out of the mist at us in a moment. There it is there, so we'll just throttle off. It's only a double yellow. Oops. Just going back to the other website to see when my time is. I should print off a timetable for today too, because it's a special one. We want July. This is always dangerous. In fact, let me get it into step 1. Sunday, July 28th, 29:46, 1:30 I start. Very good. We have got the single yellow coming up. Better acknowledge that. Well, I go off and grab today's timetable so I can print one. Actually, I forgot to check what timetable it was. And of course that other train's going to be sitting in the station now, but that's okay. Why have you gone back to September, you stupid spreadsheet? 28, 29, 46. It is TT2. Okay. I haven't run TT2 for a long time. How close is that red? That's fine. I can still continue to browse over here and open up the working timetable. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, and I apologise for being a bit mean, because I want to print pages 10 and 11. Okay. I might start braking for the signal before I start printing shit. That might be a good idea. Custom pages. 20 minutes out of bounds. Still red signal. Try and sort this out. For some reason it thinks there's only one page in the timetable. It's a little bit weird. Alright, print page 1 then, see if I care. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's stupid print. There we go. I would have preferred that to be double-sided, but that's not the life, is it? How's that signal going up there? It's still bloody red. We're going to wait for that train that stopped in Nottingham, aren't we? Oh no. He's come out again, look. Changed ends and he's going on to another track. So soon we'll get a path in. I'll go flying up there and have a look. What do you reckon? Here he comes. So he's on the other track now. Soon the signalling system will recognise he's not on our path and our signal should change. There it goes. Very good. See him coming out of the mist shortly. Hello, Violet. I am well, thank you. Let me just catch up with the chat because I've been slacking. What did I get up to? I will eat you. Have you played Five Nights at Freddy's? No. Daniel Robert Jowett says tired, but other than that, I'm good. That's good. Well, hopefully you recover being tired. Last few nights I've had a crow wake me up. Every day at about 3 AM it comes to my window, it taps on the window and goes, "Rah!" It's like, can you just not? But that's okay. We are going into platform 3 at Nottingham and we're going to go straight through in theory. I Will Eat You says, oh, I was formation designer and found the wagons from a Rosa line with presents on them. You said that last week. On a Rosalini on the... I think it's the gameplay pack. There's a Christmas train in the scenarios. Actually, it might even be in the original route. That's what you're finding. Joseph Bland says, Inverness, Scotland. Ah, welcome to you, sir. So we're taking this train to Haymarket via a fairly roundabout route. Ooh. Those points were not actually over. That would have been embarrassing in real life. This train would have been in the dirt. Or at least it would have crushed a set of point blades. And yes, I know I should only be doing 15, but I don't care really. We're going straight through Nottingham, as you do. I Will Eat You wishes the front door in the 1970 stock can be opened. Well, mod it. Someone will. So we can tell the difference between red and yellow here. But up close they look the same, don't they? It's too late. I always love this signal. Because people go, oh, it's a mistake, it's facing the wrong way. No, it isn't. It's a repeater for that one because the cab stops there. It's actually very smart. Alright, we're coming to the end of our journey on the East Midlands route, and in a moment we will be changing routes. Red arrow says, can you couple in the Midlands Mainline one with the SCT rail one? Yeah, I don't see why not. You should be able to. I haven't tried, but you should be able to. Approaching the end of our run on this route, and then we will change over to the East Coast Mainline. Alright, that's the end of our run. And it won't do anything, it won't tell us anything, so we will jump out of here. Now, one thing I will do... Don't get confused about... let me do this. So don't get confused about the countdown starting. Hope you can still hear me. You can still hear me, good. I am in the normal build, and I don't think I've got anything installed that I shouldn't, but I just want to be careful. Because, you know, we know how popular that would be. East Coast Mainline, timetable. Let's go into the ECML Doncaster, and we can go back live. We'll leave it on dynamic weather, and we want to go from Grandam. There it is, Grandam. Oh, that will be fine. What could go wrong? I think it was Grandam. It was Grandam I wanted, because now we're going to run from Grandam to Doncaster. There we go. Look at that. Put that in. That's where we're going. So we need to figure out where we're going to go. I assume we want to go north. Go to Grantham. Let me just check my map and make sure, but I would think so. Grantham, yes. And we want to go north to Doncaster. That is correct. And we are facing the right way. So if I spawn a train... There's one sitting in the platform. So if I spawn a train... Probably in the other platform, I think. Over there, I reckon. Go over there. I reckon if I spawn one over here, we'll be fine. So we'll do that. Spawn train. 158. And 4 car loaded. Spawn. Why are you facing that way round? Is that the right way round? Which way is going to go to Doncaster? That way. Not you. 4 car loaded. Right, now you're the right way round. Okay. Open our doors. Let the influenced in. You know, they've been on a toilet break and they've gone to the cafe and things like that. GSMR. AWS. Master key. No, forwards. Headlights. It's promising. Alright, let's get a path from there to all the way out there. Doncaster. Let's try this platform here. Can we go in here? That's not a platform, is it? Yes, it is. Can we go in there? We can. Beautiful. Okay, very good. Let's get our door shut. Zuma. I'm hoping we get to hold up on the Zuma, because that would be fun. Yes. How many times do you reckon I'm going to do that in today's stream? How many times? How many times? Alrighty. Shall continue on. We're speeding already. Clearly paying attention. 47 miles. Man, that's going to take forever. Especially at the pace of a 158. So I don't know if we'll get all the way to where we're going today, because it's 9:30 here. I'll have to finish by probably 11:30 to make sure I've got time to have lunch before I go onto the real railway. I've got all my gear ready for it, so it's fine. Probably shouldn't speed up like that, because I've got a diversion. It's 25 limit. I'm being naughty. You signed up, Violet. Thank you. 14 months. Bloody hell. Thank you very much. Awesomeness. And Violet's gifted one to Pete Willis. Excellent. Fantastic. Congratulations, Pete. And thank you, Violet. Coming back through. Trying to catch back up. Where did I get to? Speed up yet? No. Anarchist Angel says hello. Oh, sorry, Violet says hello. Yes, hello to you. Have I heard of Megasim? Of course I've heard of Megasim. He's a very good streamer. Also an ambassador. Off we go. Full paw. Joseph Bland says, got so boring, all our trains in one pattern. Bring back express sprinters and 90s theme. TSW should intercity it with Paxman engines. Well, you never know what might come up in the future. The modern routes do tend to sell better, because people recognise them. But you never know what might come. It's our 158 and all of its infinite power very slowly accelerates, much like a snail. Snail train. If we don't get all the way today, we can continue the journey on another stream. It's our influencers, members of the press. You can tell which is which. That'll be an influencer. That'll be a member of the press. Not that there's many members of the press anymore. Journalists kind of don't exist that much now, which is very sad. So I thought this would be an interesting thing to do to bring us back to some routes that we haven't used very much in a long time. So East Coast Mainline. I can't think of the last time I ran a train on East Coast Mainline. But there you go. We're on it now. Heading north. Winding our way towards picturesque and sunny Scotland, where it never gets dark, and it never rains, never gets foggy, never snows. It's always absolutely delightful. It's a very long tunnel, isn't it? Well, let you know how flights work. That's weird. It's always interesting when you run a TOD 4 train on a TOD 3 route too. This one's actually coping quite well. Sometimes they do weird things, but this one's okay. Getting up a fairly decent speed, 85 mile an hour. I was just coming out to see if it had suspension, but no, it doesn't. It's just the usual wiggly wiggly. Now, we are limited to 90 miles an hour in this, but this is East Coast Mainline, so we have a special authorisation to do the ton. If it can. If it can. Catching up with the things. Violet hopes everybody is well. I Will Eat You says, I remember making Richie Rails look at cursed trains and laugh at his reactions. Southeastern High Speed Train has a livery with a rainbow. It's not in the... It's not a DLC, it's the Trainbow, and it's not in Livery Designer. Violet says, "Fark." I know that sound. Dave says, I'm good. Have a chocolate Labrador puppy to cuddle up with. Excellent. It's always good to have a puppy. They're cute little creatures. I saw a video the other day of people on a holiday camp on both sides of a line and just crossing back and forth, and there were so many near misses. I'm thinking this place really needs to make a bridge or a tunnel or something, because these people are stupid. And Excess Angel says a colleague recently took a 60 kilometre an hour track switch at 94 k's and stayed on. Well, that's impressive. That'd be a bit of an oh fuck moment. Like, because, you know, when you're cruising along in a train and you make a realization like that as you approach the switch, there is nothing you can do about it. Because by the time you've reacted, and even if you go into full emergency on the brakes, they'll probably only just start applying in the time between when you see the issue and you encounter it. It's a little bit like the night train I was on recently, where as it came into the range of our headlight, I called out to my driver, "Wombat!" And about 2 seconds later we heard bonk, 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 because it hit everything underneath. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not even worth stopping because the thing will just attack you if it's still alive. Cruising to Doncaster, we've already made 7 miles. That's actually quite good timing. Ooh, we've got a yellow coming up. Little happy honks. Catching up with the chat again. You Burke, hello. Hopefully you were still there. My thoughts on Derail Valley? I play it sometimes. I think I've got it installed at the moment. Violet says Labradors have such good temperament. Indeed they do. They're very peaceful dogs. They're very defensive if you get a burglar or something coming into your house. You may find your Labrador is a very different creature around someone it's mad at. So they can be quite tough. Violet says, I know Death Valley got to 53 degrees Celsius in recent weeks. That's not that unusual for Death Valley. I've been through Death Valley in summer. I did exactly what the rental car agency said not to do and drove my rental car through Death Valley. Asuma. On train, don't crash. That's better. Why did I put the wipers on? Come on. Park. That's what we want. Going to park. There we go. Have I heard of chinchillas? I have heard of chinchillas. They're a strange little animal. They are very much British brakes, Anarchist Angel. Very much. They don't really brake much very at all. Oh, yellow. Oh, it went green. Never mind. I'm keeping the brakes on anyway because there's yellows. Let's just go back into step 1. They are very British brakes, very much so. Renfrey 594 RMG, we're currently on East Coast Mainline. We are delivering a Scotrail 158 from Derby, where they are made, or were made anyway while the company existed, to Haymarket. I don't know if we'll get all the way to Haymarket today because I've got to keep an eye on the time. And after we get to Doncaster, I am going to take a brief break. And it occurs to me I don't have... I used to have a Be Right back screen, but I actually don't have one anymore. I don't know what I've done with it. But anyway, I will take a brief break at the end of Doncaster because one of the downsides of pouring in as much liquid as I have is you need to go sometimes. Renfrey594's favourite route is Maintlebarn and wants to know what other people's favourite routes are. Mine is Peak Forest. Goal20, hello. Hello to you at all. Indeed. Sorry I'm running a bit late on the chat. Dresden is way up there, says Anarchist Angel. I will eat you, says I would be happy to see a new Canadian national. Let's put a bit of power on since we've got a green, but let's not get enthusiastic because we know we're catching up with something. Joseph Bland, Cummins 158 engine, American. Perkins were more rare. There's only a couple of them with Perkins engines, isn't there? And there's a couple of them with a different kind of gearbox as well. And they sound quite different, those ones. I had someone commenting on the video the other day, they thought the sounds were wrong, but their experience was with the ZF gearbox. And perhaps it has the Perkins engine as well. I'm not sure about that combination. Renfe prefers the German diesel multiple unit lines. They're tranquil and tend to be scenic. Indeed, there are some very nice routes in the German routes. If you're the kind of player who only concentrates on one country, grab another one in a sale and go and jump on a German one. Don't, in your first run, try and turn on German safety systems because, you know, they are there to destroy your soul. It's what they're for. But wait till you learn them. I will... I'm terrible at keeping up with this. Anarchist Angel says we need a 648. 648, yes. Violet says New Zealand rail to Greymouth to Transalpine is one of mine. That would be very pretty over there. I Will Eat You says someone made a DB livery on the ACS 64 and it looks good. Yeah, I suppose it would. I mean, goofy. I would think it would probably look alright. Why not? DB was at one point taking over the universe. Not so much anymore. I believe they're for sale now. For their cargo side of their business anyway. I think they had a buyer, but it got kiboshed by the EU, so back to square one. Renfe says the 642 is a stunning unit. Violet says you've done that line many times and stops at a great chalet in the mountains on the way. Sounds good. I Will Eat You says I want to see TSW route the Chinchilla Railway. Oh, perhaps. Ooh, crossing at grade. They're really difficult to build, crossings at grade. Gratuitous sprint shot. As you do. This was one of the first efforts of making the water look nicer. Misses a bridge. Oh, I better put the fan back on. Violet says, been in 52 here in the 80s was hell on earth. Yes, 52 is very unpleasant. I've been in it too. People make the Fowler 4F into James. Yes, they do. My experience in the 50s was on the Nullarbor Plain. We drove to Perth a couple of times because we have family members there in an unair-conditioned Datsun 120Y with 4 people in it. And amusingly, while it took more than 2 hours to do it, it could do 160 kilometres an hour. Who knew? We have some yellows coming. No, it's just gone green. John 907i, hello. How are you? Joseph Bland says, love the Death Valley attitude to take it on. Oh, you've got to do it. You have to experience things like that. You really do. And if your rental car dies, you just find a dodgy tow truck operator and get them to tow it out of Death Valley and say it died at the Grand Canyon or something. I didn't say that. I would not provide such advice. No. Maybe that's no. Don't ever do it. It's pretty good, isn't it? No? Maybe not. I Will Eat You says, is NEC Trenton an updated NEC New York from TSW 2020? No, it's not. It's a completely different builds. Whoosh goes the little 158. We have special authorization to do the ton, but we haven't managed to get there yet. Joseph Bland says he worked on Cummings and Cat. Oh, that's cool. So you're a diesel mechanic. That'd be fun. Be a good job to have. The crow tried to warn me. Yes. What the crow wants is cat food. See, I give magpies cat food and the crow comes and takes it. But when the magpies come down, the magpies take what they need for either them or their family. So if they've got a family going, if there's a chick or two, they'll take it all. But otherwise they only take a few bits and then they leave. And they'll come back later and take a few more bits. The crow's just a greedy prick. The crow just takes it all, loads it all up and takes it somewhere. So I don't know where it takes it, but it certainly does. Here's the loop that I turned a train upside down on in the early days of this route. That was funny. No, we're passing someone. That looks like it must be a rail tour of some kind. What's it going to be? It's a steam engine. It's a Scotsman. Well, that was unexpected. Kind of cool, too. Blank wall. And come off the brakes. I assume we can go back on the full beans. I did not know the dispatcher ever did that. That it routed us around another train. I didn't know that was a thing. It's kind of cool. So we slowly resume acceleration again. We're halfway to Doncaster now, near enough. Andy Burbridge, hello. Hope you're going well, John 907i. I Will Eat You says CAT is a goofy name for construction machine company. Well, the history of CAT is it comes from the Holt Tractor Company, and they made the Holt Caterpillar tractor because that's what the drive was. And after a while, the Holt name was dropped and Caterpillar became the brand, and eventually that got shortened, I think in the 90s, to CAT. And now we have a great many cats in the world. It's different flavours of cat. The local Australian flavour of cat is the William Adams cat. I always hope they have a Gomez, because, you know, it wouldn't be an Adams without a Gomez. And of course a Morticia. Have to have a Morticia. Have to have a Wednesday and a Pugsley. They're still catching up with something. DB sold cross-country? Yes, probably. I think I saw that GNER's come back into existence in the UK. I saw an article about that recently. ALP 46 is built in Germany. Well, it's constructed in Germany. They're assembled in America. But most countries do that now. They assemble trains from kits. And the kits come from Germany, Japan, China, Mexico. I think some are made in Brazil. Everybody basically assembles. Some put their own bodies onto the drivetrains that come from somewhere else. Doncaster in 25 miles. Our GSMR's gone to sleep again. Oh, maybe it's not turned on. Turn it on. Now turn the brightness up. Maybe not. Maybe that trick's not going to work this time. That's okay. And he says 158701814 and 901 to 910 are all Cummins 350s. Anarchist Angel says photographing was allowed. I just specifically was disallowed, apparently. Oh, Anarchist Angel says, I will eat you. Yeah, I went to photograph some in Castle, but was kicked out for it. I have been booted out of stations for photography, mostly in New York. In Melbourne, I've actually got a permit. I can even take tripods on the platform, which is not something you're normally allowed to do. Plenty of the local gunzels do it, but they shouldn't. I did see a video the other day of a person's tripod that just blew over and landed on the tracks too, or got knocked over, one or the other. They were smart enough to not go and get it, at least. "23 more miles. 23 is an interesting number. There are too many 23s in the world. Look around you. I can guarantee you, within your eyesight, you will find something with a 23 on it. I'm passing on a theory of a friend of mine. And he says 158815 to 862 were Perkins 350s, and 158863 to 872 were Cummins 400s. Very cool. Main Spessart Barn has the bridge from the Castle route. It's probably the other way around, because Main Spessart Barn came before Castle. They don't do too much about merging routes because it blows up people with potato computers and the older consoles. There's just not enough memory to run the long routes. That is why they are the way they are. That is some serious cant on that curve. I always like seeing that in the game. This is one of the few train simulators that actually has tangents and cants on curves. It's quite cool. Simrail does as well. You don't see it much in the others. Almost back up to 90 miles an hour again. 21 miles to go. We have to slow down to 115. I don't think that'll affect us very much. Still trying to catch up with the chat, because you lot are very chatty today, which is excellent. Renfei says, favourite British diesel multiple unit is probably the Class 170. Really a fan of those units. That's cool. Joseph Bland says, the 6-cylinder Cummins is a solid engine. Get you to the moon and back on a punch. Class 158. Yeah, Cummins are actually very well known for longevity. And you can treat them really badly and they still get you places. Our diesel's on par for Caterpillar engines, and they're both dead at the moment. And every now and again, during the week, if you're there, you'll see a small army of Cat diesel mechanics slowly bringing them both back to life. I saw the pistons come out of one the other day, and it was pretty clear what had gone wrong with it when I saw the pistons. It's had a head gasket failure. Because there was rust on the pistons. And the only way you can get rust on pistons is to get water in there. 19 miles to Doncaster, where we will be coming into platform 8. Doncaster, we will have a brief break, and we'll be right back. Because I need a nature break. It's funny how they hog for the little pedestrian crossings, but not the big road crossings. I noticed that when I was in the UK, is they actually don't use the horn much at all. It's quite unusual to hear it. The 158's definitely stretching her legs. She'll turn up with no carbon and a very clean exhaust. Here comes an Azuma. There goes an Azuma, because it came in wind at Azuma speed, which is not slow. Brad asks, a Datsun 120, why? Oh, look at that, I've done 158 miles. Isn't that cool? Usually those achievements go off at something like 15.8, because they get the maths wrong. Well, it's the car we had. That little car, I think we ended up putting about 1 million miles on that car, and it still went quite happily. And then my dad upgraded to a air-conditioned Cortina that gave him nothing but problems after the ultra-reliable little Datsun. Renfei says, Cummins engines I heard are much better than MTUs in terms of reliability. The Cummins is an amazing engine. I mean, even their truck engines from the 1950s, a lot of them are still running. They don't meet current pollution standards by a long shot, but they still work. You often see it on truck rescue channels when they rip open the sides of some old truck that's got trees growing through it in a forest somewhere, and they go, ah, it's a Cummins, we can get this going. And they do. Amazingly enough. 15 miles to go. Isn't it funny, the closer we get to Doncaster, my body's going, you need to go. It's a bit like driving home in the car and your body's going, no, I know we're near home. Hopefully we don't get caught at any signals. Should be good. I will eat you says before TSW4 people made Gordon using the Jubilee but used the 8F. Fair enough. A lot more modern DMUs tend to use MTUs. I haven't seen Cummins engines being used on a lot of modern DMUs. Yeah, I don't know if they still are. I know some of our trains to them have got Cummins engines in them. Not sure what's in the velocities. Let me have a look. There you go. The local DMUs, which is the Velocity, run a Cummins QSK 19R diesel engine. So there you go. That would explain why they sound kind of familiar. Obviously knows someone who lives there. bit like our railway, we often blow the whistle in creative ways when passing pole 100. Why? Because the lady that lives there hates us. So we just give her more. More of what she loves. After all, if she's going to complain to someone, you should give her something to complain about, surely. Can I turn this up yet? No, maybe I didn't turn it on before. No, that trick's not going to work on this time. Violet's saying hi to Andy and Brad. I will eat you, says NEC Trento seems to have a lot of issues. I don't think it does anymore. I think it's actually kind of okay. It's a bit crappy on the really low-end consoles. But my Xbox S, before I upgraded to the X, could handle it. It actually did okay. It wasn't bad by any means. It was down to about 25 FPS, but given that films in the theatre run at 24 FPS, that's actually alright. It's not amazing, but it's alright. Joseph Bland says heavy recovery is his thing. Scania 16-litre V8. Love trains gave me my heart. Good luck with the crow on your window. Yeah. It's never going to give up now. Not now that it's been fed. It's going to come and find me every morning. Fucking come out here and fucking feed me. Yeah. It was a mistake to ever feed it. Heavy recovery is an amazing business, I have to say. I've seen one in person. You don't want to know how I got into that, but I did. And and I've seen quite a lot of videos of heavy recovery. I used to watch lots of them. I kind of stopped because they do get a bit similar. But yeah, it's a really interesting process to try and assess a situation with a truck that's either stuck in another truck or it's upside down or whatever, and trying to recover it and get it back onto its wheels, or at least get it upright so it can be pulled apart and taken away on flatbeds. It's just quite an amazing thing. So, you know, that's a hell of a business to be in, Joseph. Very, very interesting one. And quite dangerous too, so I hope you never meet anything shitty. Violet says, Trento is in Italy north, just near your family. Very cool. Next year I have grand plans to go to Lucca in Italy. We shall see. This year I met up with some friends in Manchester. And the grand plan next year is that we meet in Lucca. I don't know how that'll go from a budgetary perspective. I haven't even thought about it as yet, but the missus is going to come this time, which will be awesome. She couldn't come this time because she'd only just gotten a new job and she couldn't get leave, so I had to leave her behind, which I don't think she minded at all because my UK trip was all about trains and, you know, she's not exactly a train person. She puts up with them. She occasionally even comes and sits in a loco so I'm not in the shed by myself early in the morning or late at night, if needed. But definitely not a train person. No sheep to interview. JCP made a park called Diggerland. I think it's a training centre, isn't it? And Anarchist Angel says not 100% on the LP46, but the LP45 DP are both constructed and assembled in Castle. That's what Alstom at least told me, and I've seen fully assembled locos there. Yeah, I think they definitely do. I think they assemble them and test them, and then they take them apart into sub-assemblies that are easier to ship in containers and send them over to the US, and they get put back together. I think it's near Sacramento where they end up getting put together, and then they drag them across the country. It's a strange arrangement. Some of ours arrive that way too. Joseph Benz, love your knowledge. GNR has not. Yeah, I thought I read an article about it somewhere. Something I saw. Let me just hunt. It's Great Northern. Yeah, I can't find it. There's a few mentions here and there, but they're not real articles. It's just people. 5 miles to go, and then we'll be taking a brief break to unload what I've been pouring in. Might freshen this up too. Since I will be on a steam engine later today, I need to get some water in, because you can be sure it'll take it out. Renfair says, Siemens make really reliable trains? Well, sometimes. So if you take the Siemens electric multiple units that exist in Melbourne, for example, we didn't buy one of the optional add-ons, which was GPS tracking. And without the GPS tracking, the train couldn't actually tell whether it was moving or not. So when you put the brakes on heavily, it didn't know it was sliding because it didn't have detectors that were detecting the wheels had locked up, because it was depending on the GPS. So it would go, my brakes are on really hard, but the GPS shows I'm moving, so I'm probably sliding. And the software coped with it that way. Which meant that drivers often locked the Siemens up coming into platforms, because we have a very hectic schedule where they brake very, very late. And they'd go sliding straight through the platform, and there were all sorts of spads and all sorts of horrible things going on. And for a while, the Siemens actually got banned while they worked out what was wrong with it. And that's what the problem turned out to be, that the software was dependent on the GPS. But no one knew that. Interesting, huh? Anarchist Angel says, in Germany the horn usage is really rare, just used on grain crossings that have no technical barriers or flashing lights. Yeah, I've seen that with, so I haven't actually visited Germany, but I've seen that on German rail videos, and there's a German rail driver. I mean, there's you, clearly, but there's another one that I chat to in, well, we were in the beta program. Yellow's coming up, we're nearly there. Better start slowing this thing down, or we're going to end up upside down and dead. Let's see, a freight train. It's probably going to outrun us, but that's okay. Bit mean to a braking system to do what I just did to it. It released 2, then 1. We are indeed catching up with the English freight. Oh, well, Ichu says, I really want the Class 45 to come to livery designer so I can make him into D119 Spam Can from the Railway series, which Thomas and Friends was based on. I saw, and this was funny, a person from an American railway that has a Thomas Day posted that they have the original and best Thomas. And the comments, there were just thousands and thousands and thousands of comments explaining how dumb this person was, that the original and best Thomas does in fact actually exist and is a real locomotive in the UK. And I just thought that was funny. And I wouldn't have added to that mayhem at all. No, I wouldn't. So, yeah. I just thought it was funny that this guy thought that Thomas was an American thing. Yeah. Oh, well. Coming up to the end of our Doncaster run, I'll put on the... in lieu of a be right back screen, I'll put on the countdown screen again, because I haven't got the other one. Here comes another shed with another freight train. Pretty busy here, isn't it? Nice. Looks like we may actually get held up before we get into Doncaster. But that's okay. We won't wait. We'll stop the run at the red signal because it's near enough. Because we're almost in Doncaster anyway. It's not as though we have to get there to finish a service or anything. So there's our red signal coming into Doncaster. I'll see why it's red though, because I'm curious. I don't actually see anything in front of us, so something must just have it reserved. Coming in from somewhere else. Probably something coming in from the portal. Would be my bet. In fact, there it is. There's what's got it reserved right there, and it's probably an Azuma, I guess, given how fast it's going. But that's okay. Oh, it's gone yellow. All right. Let's get into the platform then. Joseph Bland says, least it wasn't a cylinder blow. The V8 curse when it does the job when good, 150 plus tons. We had to use second-hand fishing boat engines to put in a wood lorry more than once. Yeah, one of our locomotives has actually got the engine from a massive industrial excavator, a mining excavator in it. Because its original one blew and they got given that one for nothing. So they used that. It lasted a few years. It died recently. But it went pretty good for a free engine. Iwalichi says it's been a very long while since we had more TSW 2020 engines come delivery designer. I think there's only a couple missing, isn't there? There's not many. There we go, rolling into Doncaster with a few 66s hanging around. Pilot says you need to head off. See you later. Thank you very much for joining in for 14 months. That is very impressive of you. If you're still listening, you need to get onto live stream so I can make that happen for you as well. That'll do for our little train. Alrighty, I'm going to pop on the intro screen and I'm going to go off for a little nature break and I will be right back.
Shall we play a game?
Quite sure what I did then. I did something to the stream. I hope it's still alive. Looks like it is. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, and we are going to... What are we going to do now? We're going to go from Glossop to Manchester Piccadilly on the Glossop line. Actually, we might skip that one because we are running a little bit later than my schedule. So I think what we might do is do Manchester Victoria to Leeds on Northern Transpennine. So hopefully we're good. Hopefully I've got this installed. I do. Very good. And we're going to go... No, we don't want any of those. We want to go on foot. We want to go... Manchester, Victoria. Lovely. 10 a.m. again. It's always 10 a.m. You notice that? Good night, Anarchist Angel. Hello, Jeffrey. Hope you're good. You're Jeffrey from Tucson in Arizona. Fantastic. All right, now which way am I facing? That's a good way to face. So if we come up here... This is a very old route, so I don't even know what will happen when I put a... Ooh, that's a short platform. I better put a little 158 in here, I think. We're doing a delivery run of the 158. And we better do a 2-car. Because that'll fit. There we go. There's our 158. So we're doing a delivery run, and we've been making our way up from Derby. And we're now going to go on Northern Transpennine. Just jump in here and start getting set up. Now, this is such an old route, weird stuff might happen, so we'll see. We'll see how we go. Headlights. DRA can stay on for the moment. I want to set a path. Because I want to go all the way. Where are we going? I forgot where we're going. We're going to... Leeds. That's all the way up the other end anyway. It's up here. This is Leeds. So let's come into... I don't know. This platform will do fine. There we go. And are we going to get a signal? We are. Fantastic. All right. Pop the DRA off. And let's get our doors shut. Release the brakes, and off we go from Manchester Vic. I was here recently. Did in fact use Manchester Vic and Manchester Piccadilly. This route is set in the 80s, so expect to see some very old rolling stock as we cruise along here in free roam. 35 miles to Leeds. Oh, we're only allowed to do 15. Well, we're doing 20. Live with it, game. Brad says, I hope the lady at Pole 100 doesn't watch this stream. Oh, that would be so funny. That would be very funny. Iwalichi says the trains have clipping issues in York Trenton. They do here and there. It's not that unusual, especially in the bowels of the earth. Boop, boop. Off we go to the heady speed of 40 miles an hour as we make our way towards Leeds over the Northern Trends Pennine. I Will Eat You says making Thomas characters in Train Sim World 4 is fun. You can go right ahead and do that. Knock yourself out. I'd be careful putting them up on Creators Club because they are unlicensed content. You can tell how far the game's come because this is a really old route. And look at this scenery here. This is a city. And it's pretty vague. Now, NTP is not a particularly busy route, so I don't know how much other rolling stock we'll actually see, but, you know, we'll find out. It is a very steep route, so don't expect huge amounts of speed. What we should see is some diesel hauled services. We should probably see some 101s, as in the British Rail 101, not the DBBR 101. We should also see 47s. We might see some 30s, depending on what we've got installed. I might see some 20s. Speaking of 20s, we have to slow down. We come through our little platform here. I Will Eat You likes Northern Trans Pennine. That's good. Jeffrey says, I used to live in Chicago, Illinois, but not anymore. I live in Tucson, Arizona. It's 100 degrees here today. It's a warm place, Arizona. It certainly is. I visited Arizona when I used to live in America. Quite like Arizona, actually. It's got a lot of very interesting things to go and see in that state. And it's quite a different lifestyle, as I imagine you'll agree, Jeffrey, from the rest of the country. And what you've done is not uncommon at all. It's very popular to retire into Arizona. Let's get a window open so we can hear a bit more of this thing. Not one other train. Not a sausage. Hopefully we'll see something at some point. Hopefully. Be a very unexciting trip if we didn't see any other trains. Joseph Bland says, derailment. A man that worked on Class 37 in the snow, seen the Class 66 heading south, was speeding. Later on that day we had a news story we watched from recovery. Never good when you get a derailment. I've helped re-rail the occasional one on our railway. We tend to do them the old-fashioned way with jacks and big wood blocks because, you know, we're a heritage railway. So we use heritage methods. But we try not to ever do it, obviously. I Will Eat You wants to know if I watched the movie Unstoppable. I have. Both versions of it. One that's probably older than you. In fact, they're probably both older than you. I Will Eat You says NTP does need a free remaster. Remaster wouldn't hurt it. We're only doing 50 mile an hour in a 45 zone. What could go wrong? Let's keep the fang on. We're coming into a 60 zone anyway. It'll be fine. See? It's fine. No problem at all. So we charge along on the little Scotrail 158 being delivered to Haymarket. Heading across the Pennine Mountains. On our way to Leeds, but of course we've transported ourselves back in time to the mid-80s for this route. Yeah, NTP is an old one, Gav. It's a very old route. And it's the 80s, so I have to blow the horn everywhere. At least a little bit. Oh, we've got something coming. 101, perhaps? There's a small generational difference between those two. But they are distant cousins. Imagine a 101 driver going, "What was that?" It's probably got 10 times the power of the 101. Jeffries is in Tucson, Arizona. It's 100 degrees. I'm not surprised at all. So that's, what's that about? That's about 30 in the real money, I think. Maybe a little bit less, actually. Let's just have a look. 37. There you go. That's a bit warm. Nimatra, hello. I am well, thank you. I hope you are as well. I Will Eat You says, I wish you can turn off derailment mode so trains going on fast won't derail on sharp curves. That's the physics engine. Get a little bit of braking on, come down to 50 mile an hour. Speaking of curves. Oh, we hear sheep. We don't see any sheep. Nah. No sheeple for us. Still going up a quite steep line here. I Will Eat You says TVL still looks pretty even after a long time since TSW 2020. But the older routes do still come up okay for the most part. There are some things about them I don't like the geometrical progression of the patterns in the auto lay grass. I don't do that anymore, fortunately. They have better stuff that doesn't put those horrible patterns down. Glad you're well, Namatra. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. "31 miles to Leeds. Be a little while." It's just going to say we'll come and join the passengers, but... Oh no, there are some. Joseph Bland says, I couldn't handle the heat in some American states. Scotsman's down south, let alone Australia. It would be terminal. Scots people survive here quite happily most of the year. I have Scots relatives. They certainly live. I have some on my mum's side, and I also have some that married into the family that I married into. Got a 15 coming up. We must be changing tracks. We are indeed changing tracks. Mate, Thomas and Percy using the 4F. You can only have one at a time, can't you? Looking at the time after we actually get to Leeds, I was going to do Edinburgh to Glasgow and then Glasgow to Haymarket, but I might just do Glasgow to Haymarket. I've just got to be careful of the time so that I get time to have some lunch before I head off to fire a proper steam engine this afternoon. I'm running second shift today, which is kind of luxurious, to be honest. Don't have to light it up, you don't have to prep it, don't have to oil it because it carries enough oil to do 2 trips anyway. Comes a diesel of some kind with its intercity service. Burbling its way through. Gav's Photography Seaford, a German 101, and left 3.5 coaches. That's not a red signal I see in the tunnel. There's nothing on track monitor, so I'm going to ignore it. Whatever it is. Must be a shunting signal on the other track, surely. Oh well, wish us luck. If it's ours, we're about to spad. No. It's the other one. I Will Eat You says Oakville subdivision is a route I think looks amazing still, though a remaster like WSR would make it look even cooler. Yeah, well, now that there's a public editor out there, there's nothing really stopping people editing the routes. And at some point when they get the ability to make the packs and cook, they'll be able to actually release their remastered routes. Whereas at the moment you can't release them, you can only copy them onto another PC. But these things will come, I'm sure. More cooling towers. What are these cooling towers? Let's go have a look. I am curious. Factory or power station, do you reckon? It's a pretty generic asset, whatever it is. Hello, Hannah. How are you? Hello, Caleb. Welcome along. We are delivering a Class 158 from Derby to Haymarket in Scotland, going via some of the TSW routes. So this one's from TSW 2020. It's Northern Transpennine. So it's just an excuse to use some of the old routes with a modern train. It just seems like a fun thing to do, because these trains were made in Derby, and they most likely would have gone to Scotland via rail. They would also most likely have gone straight up the East Coast Mainline. But we can't do that in the game, so we do this instead. Route hopping. I Will Eat You does remember the Toronto commuter pack for Oakville subdivision with goofy looking off-brand Go trains. Goofy is better than none. Not everyone agrees with that, but... Caleb says, nice, I've been doing every scenario on the Feather River Enhanced. Very cool. You enjoying it? If you like American freight, it's a good route to have. It looks nice anyway. This one near the railway has stood the test of time. But if you look off into the distance, not so much. But near the railway, it's nice. Glad to hear you're enjoying it, Caleb. Head off into town and wait for this to come through. Watch it from inside the church. There you go. See it come past. You can be a prisoner in a church steeple. Caleb says, like I said last time, I was born in Quincy, so it's special to them. That's cool. And I think I remember you said it was quite accurate as well. Hello, Psych, how are you? We're doing a delivery run of a Class 158 from Derby through to Haymarket in Scotland. And so far this morning we have been on... So we started on Midland Mainline. We did Derby to East Midlands Parkway, and then we did East Midlands Parkway to Nottingham. And I did that because I wanted to change ends. Then we ran on East Coast Mainline from Grandam to Doncaster. We were going to do a run from Glossop to Manchester Pick, but I'm running out of time for this stream. So I jumped that one, and we're running from Manchester Pick to Leeds on NTP. And then I was going to do Edinburgh to Glasgow, but I'll skip that one and just run Glasgow to Haymarket to finish things out. So the next route we'll be on in 25 miles time will actually be in Scotland. So we'll finally get there. We do have to skip rather a lot of real estate though. It's several hundred miles. Well, about 800, I guess. from where we are today. So we're heading to Leeds. Yeah, it's a very long way to get to Glasgow from here. Glasgow from here, I should say. So we're just on the cruise. I may not even finish taking this to Leeds because I must have a hard stop at 11:30, or I won't have time to get my gear together and have some lunch before I have to go to the railway. Because I am firing NGG 16 number 129 this afternoon for the second half of the Lakeside shuttles. So do a trip from Belgrave to Lakeside and return, and then put it to bed for the night. And I think we've got some shunting to do when we come back too, if I remember rightly. Yeah, the BR182 and the 185 both do that. They're a Siemens locomotive. If you look on YouTube, you can find videos where they've actually made music with the locomotive, which is kind of cool. Long tunnel. We had a brief 45-mile-an-hour section that I ignored. I Will Eat You did an odd thing and made a Canadian national livery for the Vectron and drove it in Oakville subdivision through the Scenario Designer. That's fair enough. I actually hardly use Scenario Planner anymore, to be honest. Because I use free roam. Because the whole point of using Scenario Planner was to make a line seem busy. But now you don't need to. Just use free roam. Joseph Bland says, East Coast Mainline is so straight, Leeds to Glasgow. Heard TSW5 is WCML focused. Well, I can't talk about leaks and what might or might not be an accurate piece of information. It wouldn't be a good thing for an ambassador to do that. So what I recommend is on August 20, I'm pretty sure it is. Let me just have a look. Pretty sure it is, and I'll pop a link in the chat. There is a big announcement stream coming, which you can hop on and notify for now. Let me get you a link. And upcoming lives, there it is, Dovetail Direct, August 20th, I was correct. Because on that stream there will be some exciting stuff revealed. Yeah, we have a 40 zone coming up. You seem a bit obsessed with the go livery there, I Will Eat You. Just slowing down for this 40-mile-an-hour point. I ignored the last one. If you're wondering why I go into step 2 and then back to step 1, step 1 doesn't actually brake very much. So if you go into step 2 first and then step 1, it's set up to behave prototypically and it brakes a little bit harder. Psych asks, how was your soup last stream? It was very good. I'm guessing that's an aqueduct. Looks like an aqueduct. Sounds like an aqueduct. Feels like an aqueduct. Probably is an aqueduct. I Will Eat You says I also did the 182 Taurus and its coaches and Dostos in Go Transit and drove in Oakville. You do seem to do that a lot. Meh, goes the local passengers. Where are we? Marsden. I Will Eat You says free roam is more addictive than scenario designer. Yeah, I think had we had free roam, we probably never would have needed scenario planner at all. But it is still cool. I mean, I still have some scenarios on Creators Club. I did make some for... I used to make them for all the routes when they came out. Every time one came out, I'd make a bunch of scenarios for it and put them out. But so I kind of don't do it anymore because it's a lot of effort and you don't need to. Because the only reason you do it is to get traffic to make the route interesting. And since you can now get the traffic just on the line, it's cool. Not that we're seeing a lot on NTP. We've seen a couple of trades. We've seen a 101. We've seen a Class 45 hauling some IC. We haven't seen anything else yet. But it was never a very busy route. Sykes suggests Richard Nixon was obsessed with plugging leaks. Just pop it into step 1 and hold it for a little while. Drop that out. I Will Eat You has also done the Go Via Rail livery on the ACS 64 and the F125. And tried to recreate the London Underground stop using the Class 101. Oh, okay. Joseph says WCML is a technical drive over the hills towards Glasgow. Pulling weight to a timetable would be fulfilling. And it's kind of funny, like my railway, there's really only one place on the railway that outside of a station that's actually flat. Gratuitous viaduct shot. Whoop, tree. Really is a tree trunk. An extremely low resolution tree trunk. I Will Eat You says it recreated the asset inspection train from London Underground Bakerloo, which is unfortunately scrapped now. I prefer to play without motion blur. I Will Eat You. Oh, didn't we wake up the GSMR on this one? Well, maybe we did and it's gone to sleep. If your GPU is fast enough, running without motion blur is much more interesting, but it does need to be a fairly fast GPU. So if I get up here, for example, it will render every frame as we go past, but it can look like that. So 90 degrees on without motion blur turned on. Not so hot, I guess. 16 miles to Leeds. We've come over the mountains now. We're going down the other side. And we're going to jump onto Pipe Circle and run this train down to Haymarket. We might go on for a 6-coach version going down to Haymarket. I only put the short one on here because of the platform at Manchester. Another big viaduct. Bit of rough trackage here. This will be good when the suspension update comes out to take it over NTP, I think. I think that would be quite cool. Because it even seems rough on this one. When you actually have suspension, it'll be awesome, I think. There will be a suspension update coming out for TSW 4 as announced on the roadmap. So we saw, what was the German one that just came out? The 218? It has an early version of it. The Pacer has it. The 323 and the Class 66 in the training centre have it. So if you want to have a look at a bit of a preview of what it's going to be like, jump into Training Centre and have a look at the 66 and the 323 that run in there. Bringing the speed down for this 15-mile zone that's coming up. Oh, it did open the window. Good. You guys can speculate as much as you want on future things coming out. Please feel free. But as mentioned, I won't join in. I'll be curious to see what you come up with. Is there a Class 47 or a 45 over there? Interesting that Dispatcher is routing us around the station platforms. I've got a shunting signal. It's pretty cool. Passing a dormant 45 over there. Yeah, I think we should see it pretty soon. There's two things coming out soon, suspension and the Expert 101. I don't think we've actually got a release date for the 101, but it did have a preview stream scheduled for this week, just gone, and it's going to be happening next week due to person availability. Alright, we can speed up again. The mighty Cummins back into action. You'll have to wait for the preview stream. I will eat you. The only thing I'll say is that if you're a German train driver, you'll probably love it. Joseph Bland says the AI is mental in TSW4. East Midland up as far as Doncaster. Makes me look at an emergency of stock. I can't see the word. It's under the heart in the chat, so I can't actually see the word. But I'll wait till it pops up another chat message. Ooh, luxury. 70 miles an hour. Feel like an emergency of stock. So you need some more stock. Oh no, we're going too fast. Iolichi says I own the original DB101 and enjoy it. Good. Honked at all the passengers that aren't there. So the runs we've done so far have got us almost, but not quite, a couple of 100 miles. So this gets us up to Leeds. Can't even see Scotland from Leeds. Have to go quite a lot further north. We don't have a route that can actually do that, so there's a big gap in the map. I don't know if you've ever seen the map, but let me just share this thing for you. I did share it earlier in the stream, but I'll share it again. Have a look at that, because it shows the where the Train Sim World maps are around the world. Uh-oh, we're going too fast. Oh no! That's okay, we're going to keep going too fast. You can certainly see the difference between a modern one and an older one. Distant scenery is a little lacking. I guess half a bridge missing over there. Shouldn't there be more of that bridge? Or was it knocked down in real life? I suppose that's possible. It could be what that represents, as a bridge that got knocked down. That would make sense. I should withdraw my comment. Well, we're allowed to do 80. Power up. I think we've got a yellow signal. Uh-oh. I'm conflicted. Doesn't look for a yellow to me. Oh, this one does. Yes, we'll have to slow down again. Yellow signal. I will each you remembers TSW2 is going to have a German and American route that will push back to be the two main routes of TSW3. Dunno. What have we got going on up ahead that we need to slow down for? Ah, we're coming into another town, that's why. Alright, let's set up a gratuitous bridge shot. Because we can. Got a pinch point at 20 coming up soon, so we'll be doing another strange routing. This is probably another 45 with its intercity train. And gone. Golden ticket. Hello. How are you? What's up, everyone? Came out a bit late today, so dog had to be put down. Oh, that's terrible. I'm really sorry to hear that, mate. After 16 years, had a pretty messed up day. Yeah, I can certainly understand that. That would be not pleasant. I've been there myself several times. It's not something you want to do. It's not something that you at all look forward to, and naturally you'll be in a grieving process now, so you certainly have my thoughts, mate. We're doing a delivery run of a 158 set. We've been gradually working our way north from Derby. We're currently on NTP, heading for Leeds. And I will eat you. This is actually the person I was talking about that moderates the Reddit forums for Train Sim World. Perhaps today is not a good day to ask questions, given the circumstances, but on a future time you could. It's time to burn some Grettas. Let's accelerate this back up to a decent speed. I Will Eat You says there's a forgotten DTG game called Flight Sim World. No, it wasn't. It was called Flight Sim X. And the logo is exact same as TSW 2020 with an F instead of a T. Yeah, it's Flight Sim X. Still around. Still gets DLC. Not by DTG, but others make it. Cruising along in a little 158 towards Leeds. Kevin Razor asks, it's Cathcart with thread 80 is good? Yeah, I think so. Makes quite a bit of a difference to the timetable. I know Skyhook have been listening to the feedback about the timetable and having some discussions on where they might go. Permanent fixed yellow. And we'll just slow it down to 50 again. Oh, look, I've driven at 158 miles again. So we've done 316 miles now in today's running. There you go. Golden Ticket says, just enjoy watching some live streams, put all projects on hold. Yeah, I can understand that. Getting focused today and zoning out. That's a perfectly valid thing to do. Yeah, the last dog I had to put down was a 50-kilo German Shepherd who displaced his hips. And I had to carry him. He was very heavy. And he wasn't very happy. And it hurt a lot. So he was trying to eat me. Because it was my fault as far as he was concerned. Golden Ticket says, how is this route so far? This is NTP. This is an old one. We will get onto Fife in a moment to do the final leg of the delivery. I probably cut it short, so we won't run from Glasgow to Haymarket. I'll have to do something shorter because I must finish at 11:30 today. As I have to get ready to go and run a real steam engine. Because I have the afternoon shift at Puff, running the second shuttle. And if I don't finish at 11:30, I won't have time to have any lunch. And anybody that's operated a steam engine will quite happily tell you just how important it is to eat food. Why am I going so slowly? Ah, large gratuitous bridge shot. It's an 80s passenger. Bye-bye. 6.6 more to Leeds. Joseph says, I was travelling from Muir of Ord to Inverness. A class 158 radiator hose must have burst. Old school blue coolant was leaking on me. Wonder what major unit sits above the passenger doors. Blue freeze. My guess that would be air conditioning. Because the engines are underneath. Actually, I suppose they could have radiators on top. Let's try and find them. Where are the radiators? Well, there's a fuel tank. So that's probably the fuel tank. That'll be ancillary equipment here. And the engines are under here. That could be the radiator, I suppose. But it must have one somewhere. Oh, I'm stuck in the grass. Tunnel. Kevin says, I'm waiting to buy the 158 until 5 Circle gets an update. Rivet are working on the 11 branch, I guess is what you're talking about. I will eat you says, Drawyer made a video about Flight Sim World. I'm sure he did. But it is Flight Simulator X is the actual product. Is the bum end of our 158 going through the final, I think what's the final big tunnel into Leeds? Steam train mukbang. No, it'll be something more boring than that. Might even just get something on the way and eat it when I get there. Joseph says, I had a German Shepherd, profile picture of me and Jake, all led past. Yeah, they do tend to not outlast us. Joseph says, air intakes. Yeah, intakes I would expect to be on the top, but I would have thought the radiators could be up there too, but it's possible. Google may know. Let's find out. And the guy that makes them. They are apparently underneath the 158 radiators, suspended underneath the train. I'm just meant to be doing 50. Ooh, so naughty of us. We're going to keep doing it. I think you will find, if you dig into it far enough, I will eat you, that they are the same product. And even Drawyard's video will make that obvious when he does the side-by-side comparison with the same pane and the same terrain, that they are the same. It's a bit like how Kuju became Railworks. Joseph says there's fans above the entrance. Best not be toilet water. Was a coolant of some kind. I hope it's not toilet water. Would be strange to have toilet water overhead too. Just a little bit. Ah, we're almost at Leeds. I should start paying attention and slow down a bit. Then we'll skip over to 5 Circle and finish this delivery run. It's 11:08, so I've got about 20 minutes. So, comes another 101. Which is, of course, going to Manchester, where we just came from. Golden Ticket says, I'm looking forward to Dovetail Direct. So am I. What's wrong with having working toilets? These are real-life toilets that Joseph's talking about. Because real-life trains have real-life toilets, surprisingly enough. And you always have to hope that the gentlemen users of the real-life toilets in real-life trains are kind enough to their fellow passengers to take a seat so that you don't have to walk through the lake. Because people may think they can stand up and aim in a train, but no, they cannot. So always take a seat, gentlemen, in railway trains, rather than watering the universe, because the toilet floor in the train does not need your water to grow. Double yellows, almost into Leeds, so we will jump over to Fife in a moment. That curve would be interesting at 60. It'd be like, whoa. Actually, sorry, that would have been backwards. I keep forgetting the camera's backwards. Same thing. So we will magically teleport this train several hundred miles to the north to finish our delivery run to Haymarket. Let's look at the map. I suppose we could... We could always run from Newton to Haymarket, I suppose. That could work. Actually, that wouldn't cross the giant bridge, though, would it? So we should probably run. No, we'll do it from Glasgow, so we cross the giant bridge. Because you need to cross the giant bridge. Or no, I'm thinking of the other route, aren't I? That's not the correct route for the giant bridge. Is the giant bridge the other one? Maybe? Maybe not. Last little bit into Leeds now. As we crawl our way in through the complex track work. With much squealing. Welcome to Leeds, folks. Now, I think we might run from Newton to Haymarket on the Fife route. Wild boars would be the ancestor of the domesticated pig, wouldn't they? I would have thought. Joseph says it was coolant. I worked in the trade long enough. There must be a secondary reason for it. Blue coolant is old school. Now arriving, platform 8. The train from the future. Alright, that's close enough to arrival that we will stop this one there. And we will jump out now and head off to Fife Circle. And we will go to Newton. Oops, that was clever. Fife Circle. Timetable on foot. And we want to go from... I'm not even thinking of the right route. So we're going to go to Haymarket Depot. That's where we're going to go to. Where are we going to run from so we can make it? Burnt Island. Might do it from Inverkeithing, I think. And given that we've moved 800 miles, why don't we finish this? Yeah, let's say 6 o'clock. That seems fair. Bit of light clouds, a little bit of fog. Jump off the dynamics, in fact. A little bit of light clouds, bit of fog because it's Scotland. And maybe just a touch of wetness. A touch of precipitation. That'll be Scotland. Perfect. Here we go. Now we've got to do is figure out which is the right direction to have my train. So we're going to want to go down that way. So I'm going to want to face the other way. So I need to face this way. Come up here. And we will plonk our train just here. Hopefully we can get one in. And let's go for a nice long one. 6 cars. Oh dear, something's got it reserved. Can't put it there either. Something's coming. Damn it. What's coming? Anything? Oh, there we go. There is something coming in. So after that's been through, we'll be able to put it on the platform. We'll be fine. Let me get back onto the platform. Since there's something coming through. What is coming through? Let's go have a look. Hi. I'm going to headbutt me. Yeah, it's typical Scotland. In 1814 Edinburgh. Well, we'll watch this depart. That makes me wonder if I'm on the right platform, you know. Where's that one going? Oh, look. Glenrothes. No, I think I was on the right platform before. Did they line up well enough? No, they didn't. I was hoping I could walk through the trains. It's always funny when you do that. Alright, you get out of here. Go on, nick off. Go away. There goes that one. Come on, go away. Go away. You don't want to go away, do you? What time are you due out? I wonder if I can spawn one on the other side and have it find a path. But we probably won't. Come on, get out of here. You know, all the announcements say you close the doors 30 seconds before you're due to depart, and then you'll depart. Enjoy yourself, Joseph Bland. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea, golden ticket. Go and have a bit of a relax, mate. Come on, leave. Leave. Yay, it's leaving. Then we can do the last part of this stream, and we can finally deliver the 158 to Haymarket. Go on, go away. Fizz off. Get out of it. Look, before something else takes it. All right. Let's get in here. Set it up so our miscreants can get in. Sorry, our influencers and press people. Last leg of the big run. So, master key. Forwards. There we go. Near enough, maybe. AWS, acknowledge, ban. We'll leave the DRA on for the moment. Let's get a path happening. Now, where was Haymarket Yard? Down here somewhere. It's in here, isn't it? I think. Let's see if we can get in there. No. There? No. Alright. Let's take it on a station near there. Can we go there? That'll be fine then. Alrighty. We'll just take it to Haymarket. 9 miles. DRA off. Make sure I closed my doors then. Did, good. Come on, buzz buzz. No buzz buzz from the guard. There we go. Straight into notch 7. Blows the train transmission. It's forgiven me, it seems. Off we go for the last leg of our delivery with some grass hanging out of the top of the tunnel. Fantastic. Good to see. Lights work well in the tunnel. Good to see. It's not a fan of pushing that hard. Give it a bit less power, I think. Not that there's too much point in going too hard anyway, because we're going to be following another service. Because it's going the same place we are. And it's stopping, unlike us. I will eat you says the artwork for Hopstrick Munchin still looks fantastic. It's good. Gratuitous bridge shot, because you do. Hopefully that red signal will just change. We won't have to stop completely, I hope. As we try and deliver our train. The other one should have left the station by now, so hopefully. What a terribly sighted signal. No repeater, and you come across it just as you come around the corner. There it is, up there in the distance. Hoping for it to change. Syke says, I tried to make a scenario on Bakerloo of a depot transfer from London Road depot to Stonebridge depot, only to find you can't use London Road in a scenario planner. Is that because it's old? No, it's probably just because no one thought of it. Oddfellow says, call me a noob, but I just don't understand the driver's box on the dashboard. Which driver are we talking about? Driver's box. Are we talking about that one? Or that one? Or are we talking about the GSMR, which I have not turned on? Boop, boop. I'll wait for the train ahead of us to get out of the platform, which seems to be taking an inordinate amount of time in there. He says, I still think London Underground Bakerloo line looks amazing. Well, it did actually have a rework at one point. Let's just move up to the signal a little bit. It's not something you would normally do, but let's give it a crack. Maybe another notch to get it moving forwards. There we go. So if we're talking about the left-hand box, that's the driver's reminder appliance. So when you pull up to a red signal, like I'm about to, it's most applicable in platforms. So I'm not convinced you would actually do it in this circumstance, but you pull up to the signal, set your brake, and then you would turn on, I know the signal's just changed, you would turn on the DRA, which is a reminder because it locks you out. So if I release the brakes now and I try and drive, I won't be able to. Nothing happens because the DRA's on. If I knock the DRA off, then I'll be able to drive. And My poor transmission's now coping with the train rolling backwards while I'm trying to power it up to go forwards. So its normal use is in a platform because, of course, in a commuter train, you're in a fairly hectic sort of a life scenario. My transmission fault light is on, but we're still managing to move forward, so I'm just going to ignore it because I've powered up a little early, probably. Just pushing the torque converters a bit too much. So when you pull into a platform that's got a red light at the end of the platform, you would set the DRA. That way when the guard shuts the doors and buzzes you and goes, ah, ah, you don't just automatically drive away, because you'll try, but the train won't let you because the DRA is set. So DRA stands for Driver's Reminder Appliance. I need the wiper running in the tunnel, I guess. Find it. There we go. That back into park. And we've got greens coming out of the station now because the other service has sped up, the 170. But we wouldn't know that until we actually see the green light, so I won't speed up just yet. Because while I can see it on the track monitor, I haven't seen it in real life. And I've reached my finish time, but I'm going to persist. Green signal, off we go. Amazing how many people are still here given a train's just literally come through here. Here's the giant bridge. I guessed right. Let's do it from this side. It's a bit brighter on this side. Do I see there's only part of the bridge there? It hasn't all popped in yet? No, maybe it has. It annoys me that you can't get further from the bridge. I would very much like to be able to get further to get better shots. Like we're now inside the bridge. That's how far you can't get. Interesting that we got an AWS for that signal when it was green. Should have been a double yellow, I think. Syke says by the numbers, Bakerloo is his favourite. Followed by Brighton Mainline. Brighton Mainline is quite good. I just realised how close this red signal is. I hope we're going to make it. It's going to be close. I think it's gonna be okay, but it's gonna be close. Is good. And now you whack the DRA. Why don't we go up and watch the other train depart? Because we can. So this is the sort of difference between the more modern routes and an NTP. You see all this junk and stuff everywhere. Don't know why we'd have rolls of steel, because you know that stuff's kind of valuable. You wouldn't just leave it lying around somewhere. What time is this 170 due out of here? Few seconds. Psych has asked for DRE stands for with wrong answers only. Is there a signal coming out of this platform? No, so we might have a little while to wait before we can come into the platform. It's the downside of following another train. That yellow? That's yellow. Oof we go. Oh, look at that. The DRA's on. It's did its job. What do you know? How good's that? I might have meant that. Maybe. Maybe not. Won't get far before we hit a red signal, though. There's no point accelerating too much. Behind the yellow line, you cretins. I see your feet over the line. The 170 should be piling on the power by now, so hopefully. This does actually tell you that this is a relatively achievable timetable, given that the AIs get there too quickly. How many stops are there between here and Haymarket? Because this is going to get a bit tedious from a time perspective. Map. There's a lot. We'll see how we go, I suppose. I could always go and get some lunch. We'll get some lunch on the way. Can't talk to our passengers. Morning, how you doing? Hope you're enjoying the last leg of the delivery run here. We've been held up by another train. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Please don't blog shit things about us. Mate. Your hat's on backwards. What are you doing? Put it on the right way round. And a pink baseball hat. Well, I suppose it matches your tie. Yeah, I'll let you get away with that. That seems fair. Morning. Just held up by another train. Oh, mate. You copied your mate up the front, didn't you? Or did he copy you? Gotta put the hat on the right way. Come on. What did that say? The next station is... Nothing. Because it doesn't know. Time to go yet? No, it's not time to go yet. Must be long signal blocks in this one. See you later, Mr. Oddfellow. Have fun. We may have to call this quits anyway, because I really am running out of time. But you get the idea. We're delivering a train to Haymarket. So it would get there eventually, following this other train. So that might be it for today's stream, I think, so I can go and get ready for real railway. So I think that'll probably do us. I haven't decided what I'll run next week. It'll be something. It'll be something to do with trains, probably. We'll see. I've got a few possibilities that I could run at the moment. I've got plenty of train games. I do know that Railroads Online's on special again, but I still don't want it. The tram game, the Hokkaido City tram, has had an update. Could always look at that, perhaps. So we'll see, won't we? We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here, and it's been a fun way to deliver a train going through all of the old routes. So I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. And next stream will be next Sunday, unless I do something ad hoc after work, which you never know, might happen. But next Sunday in the usual time slot will be the next live stream. Usually I only chuck out a few videos during the week. I don't normally live stream during the week, but sometimes do. Alrighty, have fun, folks. See you later. Bye.